So welcome to Google Colab. Google Colab is a notebook software application that allows you to write Python code and then put notes in your notebook. And the cool thing about a notebook is that you can write different blocks of code and they're only executed when you press the play button. So if I press play here, it's just going to execute these two lines. It doesn't execute all of the lines in my notebook. So every time you open up one of the notebooks in this unit, you will have to upload a CSV file. And so let's start from the top. Let's run this code right up here. And this just imports some of the packages that allow us to make graphs in this program. And then it says to download the CSV and drag into this notebook. So I'll go ahead and I'll download that. I'll hit the download button. And to upload it into your notebook, you have to make sure that you select the file icon over here. So you can see that it's kind of highlighted in orange. And you can see this upload button right here, and then you'll see sample data. If you don't see this when you click on files, just be patient and wait a few seconds because it takes a moment for it to connect. And then I'm going to go ahead and I can either drag my file up here, or I can hit the file upload button. So if I do that, I'll select that file. And you can see that I've already downloaded dogs over 10 times, right? 12 times. And you can't leave the name like this. The name has to match the name over here, because when I run this function to read that CSV file, it's going to be looking for a file called dogs.csv. So I'm going to go ahead and rename that to dogs.csv. And make sure you don't have any spaces in the name and you remember to put the little period. And don't drag it into the sample data file. Make sure that it looks like this for all of the notebooks that you run in this unit. So then I can execute this. And it will tell you if you didn't name your file correctly. It'll give you an error like it can't find dogs.csv, in which case go back over here and make sure that this is named exactly how it should be. And then I'm going to run the next block, which will list out all the columns, which is kind of cool because when I'm making my bar charts or the other graphs in this unit, I can just copy the column name and then paste it in the code below so that I don't make any typos. And then here's the code to write a bar chart. You can read all of the comments I have, and this is where you would put the column name if you want to try other columns. So I'm going to run this, and it's taking those values in the max lifespan column, and it's going to count them up. So what the chart is showing me is there are two values of 8 years in that column. And this looks about 8. So there are 8 10s and 2 11s, right? So this is just going through the column and it's counting up the number of 8s, the number of 10s, and so forth. And this is the number of years, right? And then on this axis is the count, how many of that number were in the column. So I can see from this graph that 15 years is the most common value of a max lifespan because its bar is the tallest. And it's about 24 or 25. You're going to have to just eyeball that. Okay, and then down here is where I'm going to put my labels. So I have my x-axis label is number of years, and then my y is count, and then I'm going to think of a good name for my chart. So let's say we wanted to do a different chart. Let's say we wanted to do breed group. So I'm going to copy breed group and I'll put it right there and I'll run it. Okay, and so these are all the different breed groups, right? There were about 2 dogs in the mixed breed group. The most dogs are in the working breed group, right? There were It looks like about 23. Okay, but what do you notice about my title and my labels? They don't match my data, right? So this is the count of dogs in a breed group. Okay, and then this is still count, but down here is not number of years, right? It's breed group. Okay, and then I'll run it again, and you can see now my titles and my axis labels are correct. So when you run all of the notebooks in this unit, make sure you download the CSV file that you'll be using and upload it to this files menu, and then just execute these blocks of code one at a time.